Hi, my name is Angel, and today I'm here to review Phantom Thread. Paul Thomas Anderson, who directed There Will Be Blood, is back with the great Daniel Day-Lewis for another drama film, semi-thriller-ish, British hoity-toity movie. You've got this fashion designer dressmaker named Reynolds Woodcock, played by Daniel Day-Lewis. And he's a complicated man who doesn't know how to love and is unlovable, some would argue. Yet little old Alma, a little waitress in a diner, played by Vicky Krieps, or Krieps, doesn't seem to mind him so much. The movie overall is, I don't know, complicated. I don't think it's a movie that I'm gonna watch again. The soundtrack is regal. I really like the jazz, the piano. It's very classy, it's very lovely. The visuals kind of remind me of Downton Abbey, but not as regal and not as posh. It's like it's trying to be fancy on the surface, but there's like these brown, kind of funky, kind of moldy undertones that scale it back. And I would say it's a good metaphor for how this movie and the story unfolds. So let's talk about Alma first, because she's one of the main characters. This woman is frustrating, okay? Yes, I get it. She's insecure. She kind of tells us in the beginning, you know, she has body issues, even though, girl, you're skinny, you're fine, you're good. She's weirdly strong and forceful for somebody who's insecure. And the evolution in her character was very unexpected. She doesn't let herself get pushed around, but at the same time, she's kind of cray. The actress did a great job because Alma was meek at the beginning, but then she knows how to fill a space. And I'm thinking of certain scenes where you see the girl munching on a piece of crusty bread, and she's just chewing, filling up the space with her and I loved it. Now, Mr. Woodcock, the main character, is more tortured artist who is very demanding, self-important, self-centered, selfish, just all about himself. He doesn't seem to have any awareness of other people's lives or how his words impact them. And the only way that all of this makes sense is if you see this character as being on the spectrum of autism. He reminded me of Sheldon Cooper, but British and fancier. He really seems to have no control over the way he talks to people, and he doesn't understand the concept of every person has their own lives. He really treats people like they're all extras in a movie of his life. And as I said, that really makes sense with people who are on the spectrum. Definitely got some social difficulties, let's just say that. And when you see it that way, you understand why he's so fussy. You're like, yeah. But then again, that begs the question, are these artists that get so consumed with their work that they don't see other people and they're just like labeled geniuses because they do great things, but they are difficult to be around as a person? Are they on the spectrum, or are they just spoiled, entitled? His sister Cyril, I live. She is the best. She's so cold, and you can tell that sister is taking care of the money, okay? So she is managing his life, making sure that his needs are met, because she knows that her butt is living in his mansion that is paid for by his clients, and girlfriend has nothing else she can do, apparently. Do you want me to get rid of this person? I'm gonna manage the people around you like a good pimp. You make less noise because the artist needs a quiet morning breakfast. You bread your butter too loudly, it just disrupts his aura. So you need to shush. You need to shush. Maybe have breakfast in your room, I don't know. Let's not disturb the money while the money's being made. But really, this movie is all about the dynamic between Alma and Reynolds. And it's a very complicated one that I thought was going in a certain direction, but it went in a totally different one at the end, and I'll talk about that in the spoiler segment. I didn't expect Alma. When you meet her, she seems so meek and quiet, and she lets herself kind of get wrapped up into his life. She is quickly established in the beginning as his muse. He kind of doesn't really see her. He uses her as his, what's that thing called? The bodice that fashion designers use? Well, he uses her for that. So she kind of inspires him, but she's a model. She is not a person to him. She serves a purpose, and that's kind of how every person in his life seems to operate. And if you're like me, you're really not gonna enjoy watching situations like this. When I was younger, I've fallen for people who were very driven, very focused on their lives. They were still boys, they weren't men. And they didn't really know what they wanted. Well, they knew what they wanted with me, but it wasn't what I wanted with them, right? I couldn't drive, and I was often in the passenger seat of their cars to go places. And it became like the metaphor for those relationships relationships where I was watching them do their thing and I was kind of in the background, and I hate that and vow to myself that I would never be in the passenger seat, never be an extra in my own life. And that's what I see with Alma, is that he kind of puts her in that place. She's one of the staff. She's one of the people in the crowd of his life in the house sometimes in some scenes. No, not with me. When I sense that I'm with somebody who is lost in conversation and they forget about me, I will leave the room. I will leave. So I was often screaming at the screen, girl, get out, leave. Get out right now. He don't deserve you, girl. But Alma wasn't that kind of girl. She wasn't just like, oh, fancy things. I could live here for free in this fancy house, have breakfast for free, free food. Maybe I should just lay low, stay quiet, and enjoy this luxury. No. Alma was like, you know, I like you, and I want you to love me the way I love you, and I'm gonna love you the way I wanna love you, so I'm gonna shoehorn myself into your life. And if you've ever squished yourself in between two people in a tight space, like on a couch, it's very uncomfortable for everybody after a while. You're tight, they're tight. Somebody's gonna get up and leave eventually, or someone's gonna suffocate. And that's what we got right here. The moment that really shows us that Alma is not here to play is the scene with the green dress and a client. That's all I'm gonna say. And I realized that Alma is taking on his life. She wants to be part of his life, but she also wants his life to be her life. She wants it for herself. And I was really shocked. A few things that this movie does kind of highlight is beware of mama's boys. Mama's boys are not men, they are boys. So remember that. If you are interested in that man, be warned that you will not be able to be his number one. He needs to grow up and be a man and put mama where she belongs, as mama. Here we see with Reynolds a clear mama's boy who lost his mama but kept her in a really creepy Dexter fashion, kept a lock of her hair, what, in his coat? Ugh. And he's the kind of man who needs to be taken care of, because he doesn't know how to take care of himself, because he hasn't evolved into a man. So that's just my tip. Look out for the mama's boy. But really, the moral of this story, just like in The Beguiled, is don't let people who are upset with you cook for you. Now I think I'm gonna move into the spoiler segment so we can talk about this a little further. If you're gonna bounce now, before you go, click on the like button, subscribe to Music Game News, and thanks for watching. The spoils. Okay. 2017 was a bad year for mushrooms. Can we all agree? The Beguiled and now Phantom Thread. Oh, she just put a little essence de mushroom in his tea. Okay, girl, you're going a little too far now. If you are upset with this man, you need to leave. But clearly, we have a Munchausen by proxy syndrome here, where she wants him to be crippled so that she can take care of him. He will need her. She wants to be essential in his life. And then at the end, she didn't just put a few teardrops. She put actual mushrooms in his omelette. And he ate it up. Then they had that little back and forth, and he knew that she was poisoning him. I was confused. So what? He enjoys this little sick dynamic that they got going on. It's a sick relationship, but I guess I'm happy that it ended happily for the both of them, where he kind of needs her, I guess, to give him an excuse to be tired, to be taken care of. There are people like that, you know? They work themselves to death. They get so sick and then they use their illness, like, I'm sick today so I can't work, as an excuse to like lie in bed. It's your body forcing you to slow down. So maybe in that sense, he just needs her to slow him down because he knows he can't do it himself. And let's answer the last question. So, who or what is the Phantom Thread? Is it his mama, the actual Phantom who does make an appearance in the movie? At first it was his mama. She was the Phantom Thread of his life, keeping him together. Then it became Cyril, his sister. She became the Phantom Thread, pulling the strings behind the scenes, keeping his seams together. And then Alma showed up and she became the Phantom Thread. I'ma gather my man and keep him together. Thank you, Cyril. We don't need you anymore. But no, in the end, the real Phantom Thread is the mushrooms. Because without those mushrooms, keeping him sick and keeping Alma useful, well, this marriage would fall apart, his life would fall apart, he would just go cray. So cheers to mushrooms for having a terrible and fantastic year. I swear, after watching this movie, I don't know about you, but the only thing I wanted to do was make a mushroom omelet and also put on a regal dress and just like stare at myself in the mirror and be like, I'm sickening. There you have it. Would I recommend this movie? I mean, it's not even like The Beguiled where it's just like, oh my God, clutch my pearls. You have small moments of, but most of it is kind of just meh. I know these aren't really words to describe a movie, but if you enjoy sassiness, quiet saltiness, and people just being rude for no reason, you'll enjoy it. Alright, there you have it, my review of Phantom Thread. Before you go, click on the like button, subscribe to Music Game News if you haven't already, and please, comment section, what did you think of Phantom Thread, and are there any other movies you would like me to review? Thank you so much for watching, I had fun. I'm M Angel, signing off. Bye!